This tutorial will show faculty how to add the Respondus LockDown Browser to a Blackboard assessment. Respondus LockDown Browser is a custom browser which locks students into an assessment, which means they can't print or copy or go to Google to search for the answers or even open up any other applications. In order to add Respondus LockDown Browser within your course, you must create and deploy your assessment first. You'll know if your test has been deployed if it appears in the online classroom or any other folder within the online classroom. I don't see one, so I'm going to add one that I've already created. Assessments, tests, and all the tests that you have created will pop up here. Let's do test 1. For the purpose of this demo, I'm not going to go into the settings, but one thing I am going to touch on is making sure that it is available to your students. And click Submit. Now I see that my test has been deployed. So let's go to the Respondus LockDown Browser application. Under Course Tools, this is where you'll find Respondus LockDown Browser. So here is the test that I've deployed. You'll notice it's not required yet. So when I click on the menu and click Settings, now you'll see the option where you can require LockDown Browser for this exam. Click on that radio button and it will expand some more options. For the most basic use, the default settings are fine. Save and close. Now you see that the LockDown Browser is required for Test 1. Let's go back to your test and see what it looks like. You'll notice how the test link now says it requires Respondus LockDown Browser. And that's all there is to adding LockDown Browser to your test. Now, let's discuss the requirements for students taking a test. Students will need to download the Respondus LockDown Browser installer. Now, this is free for students, and it can be installed on Macs, PCs, and iPads. It's important that you provide them the link to install, and I just so happen to have that open right now. And this link is available on our website, but you'll notice it gives students a quick start guide. There's also a guide for you if you want more information. And here is the LockDown Browser link for your students. When students click on this, it sends them to these step-by-step instructions for installing. Now, one thing you might do is copy this link and add it to the test description so that students know ahead of time they have to download this. When I click on the Edit Test options, I can always add something for students, prompting them to download. So, students, please download the following Respondus application, or installer rather, before you begin this test. And I obviously can't spell, and then you can click Submit. So now students know beforehand they'll have to download this. Now, considering this may be new to some students, we often recommend creating a practice test with a couple simple questions, not for a grade, but just a practice to give students an opportunity to get familiar with this tool without the added stress of taking a test. So if you're interested in adding another layer of prevention, you might consider Respondus Monitor.